The girl received a letter from tomorrow. Have you ever received a letter from someone who hasn't even met you yet? Amara was 19 years old and that night was supposed to be completely ordinary. She was alone in her room when she noticed something strange, an envelope lying beside her window. There was no name on it, no address, nothing, except three words written on the front, open tomorrow. Amara should have ignored it, but curiosity won. She opened the envelope. Inside was a single piece of paper, and the first thing she noticed was the date, August 12, 22, tomorrow. She kept reading, and then she saw the message. It said, "Tomorrow at exactly 6:17 p.m., a little girl wearing a red coat will try to enter a train. Stop her." Amara stared at the words. She didn't understand. Who had written this? How could someone possibly know what was going to happen tomorrow? She tried to convince herself it was just a stupid prank, but that night she couldn't sleep. The letter stayed with her bed, and one question kept going through her mind. What if it's real? The next morning, Amara made a decision. She was going to the train station not because she believed the letter, but because she couldn't take the chance of ignoring it. By the afternoon, she was standing inside the station. She watched the clock. 5:55 p.m. Nothing. 5:55, still nothing. 6 p.m. Amara began wondering if she has wasted her entire day. Then she saw her, a little girl. She had dark skin and curly hair and a bright red coat. Amara froze. The girl was walking towards the train. Amara looked at the clock. 6:15 p.m. Her heart started beating faster. She looked back at the girl, then at the train. 6:16. Then the little girl was almost at the door. Amara didn't think anymore. She ran, and just as the girl was about to step inside, Amara grabbed her hand. The doors closed. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the train shook violently. Smoke appeared near the front. Passengers began rushing out. Everyone around there was confused and frightened, but the little girl was safe. Amara looked down at her. She had saved her, but nothing something but then something even stranger happened. The little girl looked at Mara and smiled. Not a scared smile, not a confused smile, almost like she had been expecting her. Amara asked her, "Who are you?" The girl didn't answer. Instead, she looked at Mara and said quietly, "I knew you would come." Amara felt a chill run through her body. How could even a 7-year-old girl know that? Then Amara opened her bag, and that's when she found another envelope. She hadn't put it there, nobody had given her, but somehow it was inside her bag. She opened it. There were only three words: "You saved her." Amara looked at the little girl, then she looked back at the envelope, and inside there was a photograph. And first she didn't understand what she was looking at. Then she saw herself. It was Amara standing beside the little girl, but the girl wasn't 7 anymore, but she was much older. But Anamara looked older too. The photograph appeared to show a moment that haven't happened yet, a moment from the future. Amara looked at the little girl. Where did this come from? The girl just stared at her. Then she said something that made absolutely no sense. "You have to go home." Amara asked her why. The girl didn't explain. She only said, "The next letter is already waiting for you." The night Amara walked home alone, she couldn't stop thinking about the photograph. If the photograph was here, then someone had sent the letter because they knew what was going to happen. But why? And who was sending them? When she finally reached her bedroom, she placed the photograph on her desk. Beside it, she placed the first letter. Then she looked at it. 11:59 p.m., 1 minute before midnight. She waited. 11:59, 11:59. Then suddenly the clock changed. 12 p.m. Amara looked at her desk and froze. There was another envelope, a third one. It hadn't been there a second ago. Slowly she walked towards it. She picked it. Her hands were shaking. She turned it over and read the words. There were only 4 words. Now save yourself. Amara stopped reading because at the exact moment she heard something behind her, the sound of her bedroom window opening. She slowly turned and the window was wide open. But Amara knew one thing for certain. She had locked it, and suddenly she realized something terrifying. Maybe the letters weren't being sent to change the future. Maybe they were sent because the future had already happened, and whosoever was sending them was trying to warn her about something that was coming. They were trying to prepare her for what was already waiting outside her window in darkness for her. To be continued.